Check out Southside on YouTube. If you like what you see, subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's Southside on Dash Radio. It's your number one destination for Southern hip hop and R&B. Southside on Dash Radio. You're locked into the day party with yours truly, Aaria M. And I have someone super beautiful on the line with me, R&B singer Aria. How are you doing today?
Amazing. How are you?
Good, good. So, of course, we're going to talk about Thug Love. We're going to talk about Dream Doll. We're going to talk about you get in trouble to be a part of the video, all of that stuff. But, Aria, I think it's so important, at least for me, to introduce my audience to the person behind the music first, right? So, we're going to kind of tap into that initially and then transition to the music thing, okay? So, let's talk all things Aria. Born and raised Detroit, Michigan. Mom is the singer. Dad is from Trinidad. Grandfather, a pastor, right? Started in the industry when you were super duper young, I would say, from what I know, about 10 years old, but not really taking music seriously until age 20. So I want you to start there. Start with talking about what caused the shift. What made you say yes at 20, Aria?
Well, you know what? So at 18, I moved to New York to study musical theater. And so that was
Mm,
kind of like the beginning. I was like, okay, I know like I'm called to the industry. I know
yeah,
that. And so I did some work like overseas in Hong Kong performing with Disney. And then I was like, I'm just not, I'm not really fulfilled right now. And so
yeah.
kind of after that first job with Disney at 20, I was like, you know what, I think the next step for me is to really go full throttle with being an artist, and doing my own music. And so that's really, I just felt like it was time. And so I really start writing and everything. So
Absolutely. We're going to talk about Disney and stuff as well, because I think that that's a crucial part of the foundation, the amazing foundation that you do have. But before talking about that, let's talk about your mom for a second. Can we talk about mama being a singer? You said in another interview that you were considered a studio baby. You got to talk about that, Aria.
yes, so actually I was born in Brooklyn. So my mom was pursuing a music career. She's a songwriter, so she's written, music as well. But honestly, my brother and I, she would just bring us to the studio all the time. Like every session they would just start calling us studio babies because we're always with her, and just being in that environment at such a young age, I just, we pick up things as kids, whether
Yeah.
to us or not. So I just really, I think that also, just planted a seed, as well, just growing up seeing that. But yeah, my mom is the
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah, you got to talk about the admiration that you have for your mom, right? Because that's something that a lot of other artists don't get to see, right? They, of course, you have your own journey, but you being able to see your mom, see her being in this industry, seeing everything that she's gone through, that kind of had to put something into you as well.
It did, and it definitely, showed me that this is not for the weak.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Now we got to talk about your dad being from Trinidad. Okay, so I have friends who have Haitian parents, Trinidadian parents, and then my best friend, her parents are Jamaican parents, right? And so being in this entertainment industry is real different because it's not something that they really truly embrace and accept, right? So I want you to talk about that shift, your dad, how your dad took that when you became full force a part of this entertainment industry. So I want you to talk about it from that standpoint. Then also I want you to talk about your granddad too, because your granddad is a pastor. You started singing in the church, so this is something completely different. Aria, talk about that.
So, yeah, with my father being Trinidadian from the islands, he actually fully supports me because of my mom, and
Okay.
so because he fully supports her, and so I mean, it wasn't a surprise, to him that it's like, okay, now it's time for me to, really live out, my dreams as an artist, and so he's just very supportive,
Yeah.
and I do eventually want to tap into, some soca and do a little.
Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. And talk about your granddad. Talk about your granddad.
Yes, so he passed away now, but definitely um he wasn't in favor of my mom doing secular music, but
Mm,
he believed in the gift that she had, and so I think ultimately God gives us gifts, and he calls certain people to the secular arena. to be a light. And so that's how I see myself. So
Yeah.
I'm using my gift, and so that's, I know he's proud of that. So
Absolutely. So we got to talk about theater. Okay. So you did theater for a while. Like you said, you travel with Disney, which is super cool, right? My daughter's 9. If she only knew that you played Princess Tiana, she would be flipping out right now on this phone, Aria. But I want you to talk about that, right? Because you said that there was no fulfillment from theater, right? No full fulfillment. And I want to talk to you about that because I want to first of all know why, or could you pinpoint why there wasn't a fulfillment there? And also, I spoke to a lot of different people who start in theater and then transition, or people who do dual, they do both, right? And they always say that theater is a different type of beast, number one. Number two, you have to actually love it, because if not, you'll feel like you're being boxed in. So I want you to talk about that.
um I would say, honestly, I mean, I do eventually, I want to, come back to theater and, have maybe like a month on Broadway, do a stint on Broadway.
Yeah.
But I just really felt, that I just felt boxed in, honestly. And
Mhm.
I mean, I was playing a character, so, of course, like I'm doing the same thing, all the time. But I think I just really, I don't know, I just really felt that it was just time for me to just spread my wings and express myself musically as an
Yeah.
artist. Yeah, I just think that doing the same thing every single day, that just, I was like, okay, I've experienced this right now, and then I kind of just want to transition. So
Absolutely, but theater provides a foundation for you guys that it doesn't give to everybody else. Like structure, number one. Theater provides structure. I always tell people adaptability, right? Range. All of that is what you guys get that a lot of other artists don't really get. So I want you to talk about something that you've gained from the theater arena that you still use to this very day.
honestly, so I went to a conservatory, and so that
Hmm.
was just very very fast paced, and the rehearsal schedules, and like, honestly, it just really gave me, like you said, structure, and
Hmm.
it just really, instilled a work ethic in me,
Hmm.
and it just made me sharper ultimately. So yeah, that, because it's just a different pace that we move at in the theater world. So
Absolutely. Now let's fast forward to now. Aria and this Thug Love. So I heard Thug Love. It is so, it's just amazing. I love this song. I think it's a complete vibe. I was like, why is it so short? This is the initial one. I was like, why is this song so god doggone short? It is a vibe. I super love it. So I want you to talk about the process behind writing Thug Love. And then you wrote it, recorded it, then recorded the video. Like you said, it was all just super fast. So talk about that, Aria.
it was so I got connected with my team pretty quickly, and we were like, you know what, let's not waste any time, let's get the ball rolling. You need to drop some music, because I had nothing out. so
Yeah.
so this was kind of just like, just to get me out there. We sat down in the studio, picked a track. I love the track, and they were like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, you know what, I'm tired of guys approaching me the same way. Like, just,
Mm,
I need something different, I need something more. And thug, to me, I don't know if you're familiar with my acronym, but my thug love is trustworthy, humorous, understanding, and genuine. So I kind of redefined what a thug is to me. And
mm-hmm.
so I just said I'm looking for a guy that's that. So
Yeah, and then you got ATL's on Trouble in the video. Trouble just looked like he's trouble in, in the video. So I want you to talk about bringing Trouble on board for this project and that vibe. Like, what was that like with you guys, the chemistry on set?
honestly, first I'll say the chemistry was just very natural.
Hmm.
Scorpios, we were, just talking, and
Oh God, you got me at Scorpio.
Scorpio season. So, but yeah, so I think that was partially, we just kind of clicked. But he's a cool guy, just very down to earth, and just made it really easy to do. That was my first, video. He just made it really easy to just do, and he made me feel comfortable. And my team was like, prior to him being in the video, they're like, okay, we got trouble. So I was like, okay, let's do it. I just, they just kind of threw me into it. I'm like, all right, let's go.
I think it was super cute. I could tell that you guys had like a little vibe on set. But then you came back with Dream Doll for the remix, baby. Okay. And I was like, now this is what I'm talking about. First of all, I just super duper love Dream Doll. I'm from up north. Dream Doll is from up north. So it's just like a completely different vibe. But then also the comparisons online between you and Dream Doll. And literally while you're talking to me, I was like, oh my God, she reminds me of freaking Dream Doll. She does remind me of Dream Doll. She's freaking gorgeous. Um, so talk about bringing Dream Doll on board. Did you have somebody else in mind, or was it always like, listen, I gotta have Dream Doll do this?
Yeah, so I was kind of like we were pondering my team and I just who we knew we needed a longer version. Everybody was asking for it. So we were like, who could we get? And they, we've seen the comparisons online and everything, and they kind of just were like, they didn't tell me what they were doing. Kind of were just like, okay, we got Dream Doll to do the. I was like, what? They sent me the verse, and I was like, wow, this is fire. So it just happened like that. I love my team. Shout out to No Rules. They
Yeah.
just make things happen.
Yeah, so can we be expecting a video between you and Dream Doll super soon?
We can. I can't give a date, but yeah, we definitely can expect a visual. That's something.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got something this month coming out with Lucci too, baby.
I do. I'm very excited for that. Yeah, and we have a visual for that as well, so it's gonna be fire. Yes.
Absolutely. Now, both of these smaller tracks, it has to be a part of a larger body of work. Have you been working on something super big that you want to share with us?
Well, right now I've just been in and out of the studios, LA, Atlanta,
Mhm.
here in Detroit. Just gathering options for myself. I'm cutting a bunch of records because I want to create something that makes sense. So I'm definitely gonna put out an EP early next year. So I'm very excited about that.
Okay, now we got to talk a little bit about the EP. You can't just say I'm gonna put out an EP, Kiara, and not tell me some juice, Aria. Now, so the EP, all right, talk about the journey that you're taking your fans on with this EP. Is something super fresh, new. This is another side. What story are you telling with this EP?
Right now, I'm gonna say, because I'm introducing myself as an artist to the world. So,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say it's pieces of me because
Mm.
there's different sides to me. So, I just want people to see those different sides. So that's what.
Yeah, production wise, who do you want to work with on this EP, or who have you been working with? Because I'm pretty sure you've already been putting in it.
Yes, I've definitely a few people I can speak on. Definitely writing wise, working with Verse Simmons. He's amazing. Um,
Verse. Oh, you wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You working with Verse. Verse is so underrated,
I love.
by the way.
Mhm.
He's so underrated. I haven't had a track from Verse in a long time, so I'm super mad about that. You got to talk about working with Verse.
Honestly, when did I get? We were in the studio last month, and he's just super super cool, just so down to earth. And at the end of our session, I was like, man, are you familiar with "Buy You Around"? That song.
Mm-mm.
It's I had it like when people had iPods when I was in like middle school. That was like on replay. So I told him, I'm like, wow, to come full circle right now and to be
Nice.
working with you. I'm like, that's amazing. So yeah, he's awesome.
So
He's
is Verse going to be doing the entire project or just select
just
songs?
just select songs. I'm definitely collabing with some other people. And another name, I don't know if you're familiar with, the Ku Carell. He's
Mhm.
amazing. He's done stuff for Beyonce, Rihanna. He's worked very closely with Rihanna. So he's doing a lot of vocal production for me. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. Now we got to talk about your sound. Okay. So when I listen to you, I think sexy, sultry. That's what I think, right? But what makes Aria stand out though? Because there's a lot of artists out here who are sexy and sultry and got the look and all of that. What makes you stand out from everybody else, Aria?
I will first say my tone is different,
Mm, mm-hmm,
and I do have whistle tones. So which
mm-hmm.
not a lot of people, only really artists right now. I mean, we have Mariah Carey, but Ariana Grande, and she has
Yeah.
her lane. So
Mariah and Ariana.
Mm-hmm. And so as an African American female in the industry right now, there's nobody else doing that. So that's why I'm excited for my EP to show, different things that I can do. So, and you'll see more how I stand out, but those are definitely a few things.
Absolutely. And so we're going to end this entire interview with talking about you being assigned to an independent record label. So you talked about No Rules Entertainment. Talk about working with No Rules. How did that um, come about for you?
Honestly, I would say just through mutual people, people that I was working with without before knowing them, just
Hmm.
and they just were looking for an artist, and it just literally happened like this. And they were like, okay, in 2 days you're gonna fly out to Atlanta, we're gonna do this, and since then it's just been the chemistry's there, we're all on the same page. It's just really,
Yeah.
I just set this up, so I'm grateful, and they're awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Creatively, do you feel like they give you a lot of creative control? Because I feel like that is the issue with a lot of indie artists right now is that they don't feel like they're able to creatively be themselves because they need that financial backing.
Honestly, no, I really have as much creative control as I want. Of course, I'm collaborating with people, but you know, and as long as it makes sense, they definitely always
Yeah.
ask me, do you feel comfortable with this? Is this cool? Like, so it's just really a great relationship that I have with my team. So
Yeah, absolutely. Now, lastly, outside of all of that, Aria, what can we expect from you quarter four 2020? I would say through end of December.
you can definitely expect 1 to 2 more singles.
Hmm.
And I would say 2 more visuals, and definitely some sneak peeks for my EP.
Yeah. So here's what I'm gonna say before we close out. I'm gonna say this, right? Aria, you your energy is so amazing.
Yeah.
Through this phone. I cannot wait until this is over because I want to bring you in the studio and have a conversation with you only because it just seems so pure. And I just pray that it continues to radiate through your sound and through your music because I am getting just authenticity right now from this conversation with you. And of course, I wish you so much more success. All right. Now, when I call Kiki and say, Kiki, I need Aria to come through this studio. Aria, you better be coming through.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, baby. You take it. You have an amazing afternoon, okay?
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Check out Southside on YouTube. If you like what you see, subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's Southside on Dash Radio.